Now, the iPhone 15 Pro has been out for over a month now, and I think that it's pretty safe to say it's been pretty great. Now, over the past month, the iPhone 15 Pro really hasn't disappointed me in the slightest. It has a great build quality, a camera that takes great pics, a powerful chip that runs great games, and provided me with a great experience all across the board. And even though I often prefer the iPhone 15 Pro Max because of its size, I can truly say that 6.1 inches is no slouch. You're still able to get a great viewing experience, and it's much easier to use in hand. Pair that with a new action button, a lighter feel with titanium sides, and USB 3.0, and Apple has pretty much knocked it out of the park. And it doesn't stop there. The 15 Pro also comes with some amazing accessories, and many of us are in that Apple ecosystem, but there's one brand in particular that meets the quality of Apple devices in general, and that's why I would like to give a special shout out to my partners, Andar. Now, Andar is a company that specializes in making premium accessories that not only provide an amazing look, but also top tier protection, and that's why I love my premium leather watch bands. Now, in the past, I've always found most smartwatch bands to have a cheap build quality, ugly, or just not practical. But with this one, I can truly say that Andar provides some great watch bands. Each band has a full grain leather material, and right here, I have the black leather, and there are multiple variations. There's a nice leather with a black undertone that continues that aesthetic, and we also have a silver undertone that gives it much more depth. They're very stylish and can go with any outfit that I wear, and they're overall very premium bands that are my personal favorites whenever I put on my Apple Watch Ultra. And it doesn't stop there. Andar also made this beautiful full grain leather AirPods case. The one that I have is black, but they have a wide range of colors. It's stylish, very premium, all while providing great protection. And if you like premium yet fashionable accessories that provide great security, the link will be in the description and comment section of today's video. And again, I want to thank Andar for making my favorite accessories of 2023. Now, looking at the battery, I've tested out how long my 15 Pro lasts with high usage, and during my time using it, I've increased my usage to 7 hours of screen time a day, which I can still say was able to last me all day. On average, I would end my day with about 20% battery left, which is pretty impressive since I was using power heavy apps like social media and video games. I would also have much heavier work days on my 15 Pro, like whenever I got over 9 hours doing things like writing scripts or filming multiple videos. The Pro also supports 30-watt fast charging, which I had minimal problems with. It charges pretty fast, 75% in 55 minutes, but most of the time I charge it overnight, so it really didn't matter. And when it comes to usage, I was never the type of person to cut any corners to save battery, and my iPhone had all-day battery life, so most of the time I was charging it overnight. And during my time of using the Pro, I had 5G on, my brightness was on manual and always medium to high with always on display on, and I'm mostly playing games, so again, the battery is pretty good. Now, the next thing that I wanted to touch on when it comes to the 15 Pro is the design and build quality. Now, the iPhone has always been pretty good in both of these categories, and I'd be lying if I said that the 15 Pro doesn't deliver. The 15 Pro had this very rounded frame at a POV, but when you hold it, it's very boxy, just like the iPhone 5 and 5S. The frame fits in my hand very well. I'm holding my phone for hours on a day-to-day basis, so it really helps to have a phone that's easy to carry around. The 15 Pro also had a pretty nice weight to it. It weighs in at 187 grams compared to last year's 206 grams, which is significantly lighter than the 14 Pro. And me personally, I like phones that have a good weight to them. It really does add to its premium feel, and even though the 15 Pro was lighter, it still provided that exact feel. And now, like I said before, when it comes to aesthetics, the Pro still has that Apple clean yet simple type of style. The buttons and ports were very clicky and in the right places, and the phone was big enough but not too big, and it still added to the experience. Now, looking at display, the 15 Pro has a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR display that is arguably better than the 15 Pro Max because not only does it have a good size, but it's also much easier to use in hand. The pill shape notch is pretty good. It's definitely bigger than most Android's hole punch camera, but honestly, after you get used to it, it really doesn't bother me and I rarely notice it. Everything on the display felt very smooth, and I think that the 15 Pro mastered the balance between sharpness, accuracy, and quality. And as far as durability, the Pro has ceramic shield on the display, which Apple claims is made of ceramic nano crystals that resist damage, and I've dropped it a few times and I would say that it's been pretty good. But durability isn't the only thing that's great about the display. It's very punchy, sharp, and premium when it comes to colors, and it really had the right amount of brightness. And speaking of brightness, it's pretty much the same as the 14 Pro. The 15 Pro can reach up to 2000 nits of peak brightness. There are extremely sunny days where I live at with no shade, and I still didn't feel the need to max it out, but whenever I did, I was able to see everything very clearly. Now, the 15 Pro has a 120Hz refresh rate that Apple calls ProMotion. It complemented iOS very well, and when it comes to refresh rate, I feel like Apple has always done a good job at making the phone fast and smooth at the same time. Watching movies and content on this phone is amazing. Oftentimes I'm playing Asphalt 9 or I'm watching YouTube videos, and I never really had to complain about the resolution, brightness, or colors. Now, the last thing that I wanted to touch on when it came to the display is Face ID, and I often like to give an update because a lot of phones, after a while, the Face ID kind of deteriorates, but with the 15 Pro, it's still working very good. I use my Face ID at night in rooms with the worst lighting and is reliable every single time. But again, I really do wish that the 15 Pro had a on-screen fingerprint sensor because honestly, that's my preferred way of unlocking my phone. Now, before I discuss camera, I want to go over some problems that I'm still dealing with on my 15 Pro. Now again, since I change phones a lot, this is a very personal problem, and that's the wireless SIM card problem. Now, as you guys know, I change phones very often. I change between Androids and iPhones, so it always helps to just pop out my SIM card and put it in a new phone. But as of October 24th, a lot of SIM card carriers are still having trouble updating their software, and it's still not as good as using physical SIMs. And this is a problem that is very annoying to me because I wish Apple would just give us both options. A lot of times, Apple always does like my way or the highway, but again, this is a very annoying problem, and I really don't think it was necessary. And now the last problem that I still face and am very annoyed with on the 15 Pro is the camera focus. Now, I shoot a majority of my videos on my iPhone, but I still don't really shoot on my 15 Pro because it can't focus on certain things and it's very annoying. I shoot my videos with my iPhone, and whenever I'm shooting a phone, I try to show off the sides and the 15 Pro still can't focus on it. So I basically just end up putting it away and using an older iPhone. Now moving on to camera, the 15 Pro provides the same system as last year. It has a 48 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 12 megapixel telephoto camera that is pretty much great in most aspects. And like I've been saying for years, the iPhone has always been the most realistic in terms of colors. Like the colors are always toned down, and you could tell that the 15 Pro has really great camera software. The Pro zoom photos are pretty good. The ultra wide photos have improved and they're acceptable but not great. But as soon as you zoom in more, the picture adds much more detail. Selfies on the 15 Pro were the best in the smartphone market. I love how it handles my skin tone. I love how it looks realistic while also adjusting little details. And I've always been a fan of iPhone's coloring and selfies. Now the videos on the 15 Pro were amazing despite the minor problem that I mentioned earlier. There were many great things that caught my attention, but overall, the clean professionalism stood out the most. You can shoot videos up to 4K. It looks really good, and even though it takes up the most space, I think that the quality is that much worth it. Stabilization was smooth, pans were very solid and arguably the best in the game, and the sharpening is still top tier. And I want to give you guys some random footage that I was able to capture with my 15 Pro. And alright you guys, that's it for my review on the iPhone 15 Pro. It's a pretty great iPhone that I will say is an improvement from the 14 Pro. It has a great software, it has a great display, the camera was able to take great pics, and despite the problems that I mentioned, I think that it's a phone that's very much worth it. And let me know down in the comments, you guys. Would you consider the iPhone 15 Pro a great phone? Let me know. And again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today's video, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace.